I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. As we kind of know about stuff that's going on, we do know that in the future, Death Knights are going to come to Hearthstone. So before they come to Hearthstone, I'm going to make some predictions because I like to be incredibly wrong. First of all, we pretty much we are not 100% confirmed that Death Knights are coming to the game. So that's the first prediction that I'm going to make, but that one's pretty easy to justify because we pretty much have been told with part blank that that the Death Knights are going to come to Hearthstone probably this year. I honestly don't think it'll be in the next expansion. I have an idea where they're going for the next expansion, and it's not going to be Death Knights. I think they might release them after the next expansion, but before the end of the year, like right before the rotation comes out. That's kind of like an introduction to them, and then bring them out with the rotation, kind of like a pre-event or something like that, where you actually get to see them in. I do think that they are going to be the second class to actually have sigils, though, because they're kind of known for doing rune magic. They're going to be a swarm class. I think they're going to be they're going to bring back the word reborn. I think that's going to be their keyword. It's going to be the reborn keyword, because they're known for doing reborn, and reborn is one of the few keywords that everybody's sort of used to if you are used to playing Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds has used reborn since the beginning, so it's not a keyword that you have to teach a lot of people. It's always kind of been in the background running unnoticed. I think they're mostly going to be a swarm class. They're going to kind of play like Druid, where they get a lot of stuff like summoning 1/1s and stuff like that. Maybe stuff with Reborn. They might get something like Whispers of the Old Gods, where they summon 7/1/1 Scourge to take on the battlefield. You're also going to see their most iconic weapon, which if you've ever done the stuff with if you've ever done stuff with the Death Knights, see if I can find him real quick. Hang on. He's a 2-drop. Hang on. Then Frozen Throne. He's a neutral. He's a 2-drop, I believe. 3? There he is. Death Knight card to your hand. So all these Death Knight cards I think are going to actually be spells that you see in the game, because if you looked at all of them, none of them were very broken in the game. Like, the biggest one out there is deal 5 to a minion or heal yourself for 5, and even that's not super broken. So I think they'll actually have the spells, and I think you'll actually get the weapon that they're known for. It might not do exactly what the weapon did, where it actually re-summons the minions that you kill with it, although that could itself be interesting to see. I also think they're not going to have a 2-power or a 1-power. I think for once you're going to actually see something with a 3-power or maybe a 4-power. Because I can't see them having 1-power. It just doesn't feel very Death Knight-ish to have something that a Death Knight does only cost 1 power or 2 power. I also think that you're going to see Demon Hunters actually get a Death Knight that might just be released for the expansion when it comes out as kind of like a... We know that Demon Hunters didn't have a Death Knight at that point, but we want to bring it in, which could be the first time that a card is released strictly for a while, which would be kind of interesting. And kind of a break in tradition to have something that's brought in that's meant to 100% for wild. It only would exist in the wild set. But it could be kind of interesting to see them do that. They're going to have the same health and attack as everybody else, you know. They're going to have the 30 health. I think their power might be to get a Death Knight spell, But that might be too powerful. Some of those were like really out there, but I'm not sure what else to give them as a power. I think they're going to mostly focus on Swarm. They're going to have a little bit of the stuff that Death Knight had with the runes. They're going to maybe call them runes instead of sigils, but I think they're going to get it. I think Reborn's going to be the power that they get. They're going to have an ability that's like 5 or 6 or maybe 4 or something like that. Something that feels like it's heavy costed, but does something, grand, because Death Knights are supposed to be like, bigger characters, heavier characters. I think end of this year, not the next expansion, so I think one more expansion right before the mini set is when you'll actually see them come out. As, of course, you're going to see Arthas actually enter as the main Lich King, probably with a secondary Lich King. You may actually get all the Death Knights that were released back in the day in Frozen Throne as playable for Death Knights with the same power, because that'd be kind of an interesting way to use all these old Death Knights like Malfurion, and you could actually play him as a Death Knight, because theoretically he's a Death Knight to begin with. I mean, he wouldn't have his power, he'd have the normal Death Knight power, whatever it would be. But it'd be kind of interesting, because then all of a sudden, as soon as you make the class, you've got 9 classes that can immediately play it. Plus, you'd have Arthas as the background normal one to stand in there for Arthas. I think they might wait on it, and you might see a secret self-drop for Monk at the same time, but I highly doubt it. I don't think they want to bring in Monk. They want to kind of let Death Knights have their time in the sun, and it's going to be a very broken and unbalanced class just to get people into going into it, so that people actually want to play it going forward and try it out. But I think it's going to be a swarm of weapon class, because they're going to have weapons, they're going to be a swarm ability, they're going to have a little bit of magic, not probably a lot of draw in them. They're not, but Demon Hunters are known as quick, so I can see them getting draw. But Death Knights are not known as being slow and relentless, so they might even have some armor or some way to gain armor. So I think that's how they're going to balance them out. They're going to kind of be a combination of like Druid and Warrior with a little bit of, I'm going to say, like Rogue thrown in, or with the kind of sneakiness that they can get into, where stuff will be sneaking onto the board, or stuff will be, they might be able to even have secrets in the game, which might be where their stuff comes by. They might be the next secret class. They could be coming straight in with secrets, because I could see Death Knights being secretive and sneaky, because that's kind of what they're known for being also. They're kind of known for being in disguise, in plain sight. They might have like something that comes out where they start with like a reputation instead of an XP bar, because it'd be kind of, what's the word I want to use? Hard at this point to get them up to the XP, unless they get a super XP boost. 1,000 wins on Death Knight at this point would be 1,000 more wins that you didn't have before. So they might do something with reputation instead. I doubt it. They'll probably just give them the 500 and 1,000 with the portraits and everything else. New card back, of course, with them. Most likely a pre-order or pre-release that you can buy only with rune stones, since they're known for using runic magic. You'll most likely only be able to buy Death Knights with rune stones. So that's going to be the caveat when this comes out. The only way that you'll be able to get it is with rune stones, even though it'll be the price. It won't be that bad, like $20 for the pre-expansion. And then they'll just come out with the normal cards when the next set comes out after them. But they'll only be able to be bought with rune stones. My theory is because of the fact that they want people to be pushed to getting rune stones and getting used to buying rune stones for stuff. So I honestly think that when they come out, at least for the pre-expansion, it'll be 100% runestone only. No cash, no gold, just pure runestones. It's kind of a end of the year. I'm thinking around Christmas, so you're looking at, you want it before the end of the year. You want it around Christmas, but that's okay. So October is most likely when the next set is coming out. That usually comes around Halloween. So November, you want it before Christmas so that it can be bought on Christmas list, but you want it announced before Christmas. So I'm thinking, let's look at the calendar here real quick. Christmas falls on a Sunday. They usually bring their stuff out on a Tuesday, so that'd be the 27th. I'd say somewhere around December 13th is when they'd actually announce it. Give it just that little bit of a lead-up time. And then people could play it over the Christmas break and kind of get it in, and that's when I think it'll come out. So around December 13th is when I think they'll finally announce Demon Hunt, Death Knights. I think that all the old Death Knight portraits will be able to be played as Death Knights on day one because it's just a quick, easy grab. I think they'll only be bought with runestones. No cash, no gold, just runestones only to get people to buy the runestones. I think their keyword will be reborn because it shows up in battlegrounds. I think there'll be a swarm class. I think there'll be the second class that has sigils. I think every old Death Knight spell and the weapon from the Death Knight spells are going to be their spells and weapons, at least to start out with. And I think that you are going to be horribly unbalanced when they come out and need like 6 nerfs because they want people to play it. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I hope somewhere in the future somebody will come and tell me how wrong I was about all of this. So, thank you all so much for watching. And remember, as always, play for fun.